Why do you keep doing that stupid thing, bro? We need to get you some new dance moves, man. What's up, crypto fam? We lost Robin. Oh, Robin's back. What's up, bro? Why'd you leave me, man?
I'm back.
Why'd you leave me?
We had the speaker interference.
Technical difficulties. Awesome, guys. Well, welcome back to Sin City Crypto. Today is our official launch of our channel. We're coming at you live from Global Studios here in Sin City, Las Vegas, aka Sin City, Nevada. I am your boy, David here. We're going to get into some extremely exciting crypto content, but first, you know what we got to do. We got to tell you we are not financial advisors. Anything we say during the course of the show should not be taken as financial advice. DYOR, do your own research. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the man, the legend, the one who gave himself a nickname, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola, it's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. This is our official launch. No longer in the pilot phase. We're in the mature and we in your face phase. How you doing? Now, if this is your first time checking us out, we are a cryptocurrency entertainment focused channel. Focus on the entertainment. So here we take all the old, the boring, the stale information. We package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, I do want to give a shout out to our media partners global who help us broadcast us out, not to just YouTube, but other channels as well. Also, if you didn't already know, I got to tell you, we do live streams. We do deep dives. This is our live stream. Check out the deep dives. Also, one more thing. We're new. We're growing. Grow with us. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live and when we're going deep. And then, that's all I got. What you got, David?
What's up, man? All right, so I'm just going to go over a brief rundown of our show today. We're going to start off with our hot take section, followed by our talking points where we take the trendiest, most important articles of the day in the crypto sphere, and we're going to talk about it. And then the last one is going to be our market analysis. We have revamped our market analysis. If you were with us during our first month of being on air, you know, we used to say we don't do technical analysis here. Well, we've pivoted. I talked some sense into Robin. We're going to do a little bit of technical analysis for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into our first segment, the hot take.
That's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
Mucho fuego.
Oh, caliente.
All right. So, for our hot take today, would you spend half your crypto portfolio on a new luxury car if you needed a new ride? Robin?
Oh. Well, you know your boy is extremely reckless when it comes to his finances. Now, with that said, I do like to treat myself. Okay, let's not forget why you got into crypto. It's to make money, to have a better life, to show your success off, to make other people jealous. And with that said,
What?
I'm trying to make you jealous because you know my portfolio is straight stacked, like your boy here, because your boy looking sweet.
You're not stacked, bro.
So anyways, yeah, for me, absolutely. Okay, these are my two options here. I can either finance, say we got a $100,000 luxury car. I can either finance it in the traditional way with the APR, 10%, 8%, whatever it is. My $100,000 loan, I'm probably going to end up paying $130,000. So let's go ahead and get that out the way right off the jump. I'm going to pay for that straight up in crypto. I'm going to get the best deal at the dealership, especially if they accept Bitcoin, because then I'm going to straight up walk in like a baller. Now, with that said, instead of making monthly payments on the car, I'm going to dollar cost average into new projects. So basically my $900 a month that would typically go to my car payment, I'm going to put that right into crypto. And I'm going to dollar cost average over the next 5 years, the same time I would with a traditional investment. Now, take some profits. Enjoy your wealth. If you got into the space a few years ago and you got some money you're sitting on and you're proud of your portfolio, treat yourself.
Yeah, spend half of it on a car.
Treat yourself. Go out there and buy yourself something nice, because you know what you made in the past from your investments, you can make it again. So don't liquidate the whole portfolio, but at the same time, if you need a car, you know, why not?
So the question was, would you liquidate half of it?
Yes.
And you're saying if you had 200 grand in your portfolio, you would take 100 grand and buy a car cash.
Because I can make that 100 grand back.
That is
quickly.
dumb, man. You just keep getting dumber and dumber with your takes, bro. Why on God's green earth?
Well, you're cheap
would
as
you
hell. You're cheap as hell. Okay.
Why on God's green earth?
You're gonna die with a portfolio driving your busted ass Nissan.
Can I have the floor? Can I have the floor? I didn't interrupt you, did I? Shut up and sit back. Fall back. All right. Why the hell would you take, if you have 200,000 in your portfolio, why the hell would you take 100 grand out to buy a car? Take like 30 out, buy a brand new Toyota Camry. Those things last forever. And then put the rest of it back into crypto. Invest it. Or do something with your wife or your kids. I know you don't really take your wife out that much, but, you know, take her out to a nice dinner, man. Take her out to a nice show. I'm not a materialistic guy, so now if I had, the question here is, would you take half your portfolio? The answer to that is no. Would I take like a 20th of my portfolio to buy a car? Sure. Would I take half?
Stereo 2 agrees with you. Stereo 2 agrees with you,
by the way. Stereo 2. I don't know what, like, never take financial advice from this a-hole to the left.
If you want life advice, style advice, talk to me, because David has no style and no material no material know-how. That compass is broken.
Your style is so awesome, man. I envy to be you.
I got a freaking an Elvis shirt in the form of a rabbit.
Wow.
And this is in lieu of Sin City. Obviously, this is like our mascot here. If there was a mascot for Vegas, definitely would be Elvis. So I just...
Bro, we need to burn that shirt. That thing's ugly as shit. All right. You got anything else to add to your stupid hot take?
No, man. But when I pull up looking super fly, and you pull up,
and I pull up with an extra 70, and I pull up with an extra 70 grand in my portfolio, I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to our next segment, the talking points. Let's hit it. The chitter chatter. We are going to pull up the laptop here for you guys to go ahead and take a look at. So, biggest articles of the week, of the day. We're going to start off with Uniswap version 3 contracts. Deployment on Polygon approved with 99.3% consensus. The deployment of Uniswap version 3 contracts will be supported by a $20 million fund for a long-term liquidity mining campaign and the overall adoption of Uniswap on Polygon.
This is huge, bro.
This is absolutely huge. Just to break it down for you, what it means is now when you use Uniswap version 3, instead of transacting on the Ethereum blockchain, you will now be transacting on the Polygon blockchain, which means what, Robin?
Okay. All the tokens you can get through Uniswap. All of the little DeFi tokens.
I literally gave you an alley-oop. I said, you're not transacting on Ethereum, transacting on Polygon, which means...
all of the tokens, once again, that you could typically buy with Uniswap, you can now buy on Uniswap minus the gas fees. So
that is
the transactions for Polygon are minimal. They're like $1 compared to the $100 that you would get with Uniswap on the Ethereum
$100.
network.
That's like a wish list.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So, you know, my last 2 transactions on Uniswap were actually $40 and $30. So,
lucky you. Way to rub it in for our people watching that pay hundreds.
I like to use Uniswap when the network's at its lowest, which is at around like 1 in the morning for me. So right before I go to bed, if I'm going to do a Uniswap transaction, I found that's one of the cheapest gas fees are.
What about the people that are falling asleep at like 10 o'clock at night?
Hey, when they sleeping, I'm making gains, baby. You know, you know your boy is extremely intelligent.
Are you surprised they went with Polygon versus another layer 2?
No, it makes sense because, well, first of all, the Polygon network is the code that it's written in is in the exact same language. So for a developer like Uniswap, Adapt, for them to migrate their platform over to Polygon takes no effort at all as far as writing code and making it adaptable. You just basically copy and paste for the most part. I'm sure it's a lot more technical than that, but for the most part, it's very simple to transition over. It's the same network. They already Ethereum already leverages Polygon anyways, so it's a no-brainer here for me, honestly. So,
yeah, it says as Polygon strives to maintain a competitive position against the Ethereum ecosystem, the community announced a $200 million initiative with Steve 776, a venture capital firm owned by Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. They got a lot of money behind it. Everyone loves the idea. Over 72 million people voted for, and only 500,000 people voted against. Who are those 500,000 people? And why?
They're Ethereum homeowners.
The hell?
They're Ethereum
would you want to pay 50 times gas fee when you can literally do the same thing on Polygon now through Uniswap version 3?
Because of this. If you're a whale and you have tons of disposable income and it doesn't really, gas fees don't affect you, then you have an advantage over the mass population. If the majority of the market, 95% of the market are hesitant in buying small coins or buying different projects through Uniswap, they know that they have an advantage. It's like, I have a pass. I can buy it. You can't because you don't want to pay $150 in gas fees. I don't care because I'm going to end up buying $10,000. $10,000 of a token. What is a $100 gas fee? It's nothing to me. But your average investor, they are hesitant. They're like, I don't want to buy $300 worth of tokens and pay $150 worth of gas fee. It doesn't mathematically make any sense to me. So with that said, there are a handful of people that are big whales with the big Ethereum wallets that can basically just buy things that nobody else can. It gives them an advantage. So now there are some people there. Now, my biggest takeaway from this right here is not what Uniswap gains from it. It's what Polygon gains from it. So just remember that the token's worth is 100% valued on its utility and its use case in the market adoption. So if all the people that were transacting on Uniswap on the Ethereum network, the millions of people, the millions of transactions, if they move over to the Polygon network and they purchase Polygon and Matic token to use in everyday transactions, you're going to get fundamentally more use out of the Polygon network, which is of course going to drive up the price.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to ask you, from a new person coming into crypto, when you use a layer 2, do you have to use the Matic token or do you still have to use the Ethereum token?
Yeah.
There you go,
so
guys.
in this use case, you would have your Polygon or your Matic in your wallet, and then at that point you would do your transactions. You would do the swap from Matic to whatever desired token you have. So no longer do you need in this exact scenario, no longer do you need Ethereum. So
okay, all right,
way cheaper.
Let's move on to our next article here. Let's pull the laptop back up. We have some Polkadot news. Wow, Polkadot is actually doing something besides just teetering in the top 10. Parachains officially launched on Polkadot network. The long-in-the-making process of bringing multiple blockchains to the Polkadot network culminated this weekend with the official kickoff of 5 parachains. The 5 parachains that went live this weekend include Akala, Astar, Clover, Moonbeam, and Parallel Finance. All told, nearly 99 million DOT, worth approximately $2.4 billion, was garnered by the 5 projects during the auction period. Winning projects effectively leased their parachain slots, which last for 96 weeks. You're a big Polkadot homer. What do you think, Robin?
Well, this is the Polkadot ecosystem achieving its final form. This is basically achieving their end goal on their roadmap. Now, not to say that there aren't going to be upgrades, forks, and improvements, but when you looked at what Polkadot was trying to accomplish and where it started, this is what it was trying to accomplish, and it's done. I think it's only going to move up from here as far as the utility, the price, the market adoption, and we also have another round of Polkadot auctions coming up this Thursday, so they're going to add more chains. Basically, it's like using layer 2s and adding dApps, adding functionality to the Polkadot ecosystem. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. It could also, keep in mind, it could be something very similar to Cardano. It could be where Cardano didn't jump off. Once Cardano had the smart contracts, everyone expected it to blow up, and basically, it took a while for the market adoption and for all of the dApps to develop on it. Could be the same for Polkadot. So I wouldn't believe you're going to have any kind of parabolic growth within the short term. However, I do see a lot of utility case coming in the long term. So a great project to get into. Still a good time. The price for Polkadot is still pretty sideways from where it's been, so it's not a bad time to enter. I would definitely dollar cost in if you're interested in the project. So,
and in the article, it talks about how parachains are the final piece of core functionality, as outlined in their white paper. Also, the winning projects are focused on a number of use cases, including decentralized finance and lending, among others. The idea of parachains is that each individual network can support different use profiles, all tethered to Polkadot's relay chain.
So, real quick, Stereo asks if, do you think it will impact the Ethereum hash rate for the miners with this news? I don't believe so.
With the Polkadot news?
No,
or the Uniswap news?
With the Uniswap news. No, I don't believe so. I think Ethereum is still going to be the number one use case with Uniswap. I think it's going to take a while for it to switch over. There's a lot of use cases. There's a lot of NFTs getting minted on Ethereum, so I don't see it. I feel like the hash rate and the utility might ease a little bit, but I don't think it's going to change much. And then also we have Leon saying, will Loopring do the same? I believe he's probably in reference as well to Uniswap using, and will Loopring start? And will Loopring leverage the Polygon network in the same way that Ethereum has? So I don't see why not.
Wait, will Loopring leverage the Polygon network or the Ethereum network?
Yeah, the Polygon network. I don't see why not. It makes sense.
I see him as kind of competition.
Yeah.
So I think Loopring is going to try to, I mean, I don't know. Loopring's a little different.
So you think competition between Loopring and Uniswap? Is that what you were saying?
No, Loopring and Polygon. They're both layer 2s. I like Loopring.
Loopring's pretty cool, man.
I like Loopring, man. Their wallet's dope.
Loopring brings the functionality that you get out of an exchange, so it can be a little less. If you're used to exchanging, if you're used to using an exchange to buy and sell your tokens, Loopring takes all the functionality of a DEX and then makes it a lot more user friendly, kind of in that same way. So,
by the way, Ethereum hash rate is the highest it's ever been.
No, there you go.
So it's trending up. So I don't think we're going to see a dip in that. So let's move on. Let's bring the laptop back up. We're going to talk about Robin's favorite. Wait, so is this your favorite or is Polygon your favorite? You got to pick one, bro. Cardano or Polygon? What's your...
I think, put it this way. I think Polygon, even though it has been moving, even though it has gotten all these different partnerships, I think Polygon is extremely undervalued for where it is. So I think definitely in the short term, I think especially with the Ethereum layer next upgrade, the Ethereum moving to proof of stake, I believe that you're going to get an exponential growth out of Polygon network. I think it's obvious because Uniswap is building on Polygon. The Vitalik Buterin says, hey, maybe you should use Polygon. All the writing is on the wall. The utility factor for Ethereum, which has millions of people transacting on it, I believe a lot of that is going to spill over to Polygon. And for where it is right now, it has a ton of room to grow. With that said, Cardano is leaps and bounds ahead of all the projects that are in the top 10 as far as their grand vision, their adoption in government systems, what they're trying to do as far as their scaling. They're talking over 100,000 TPS when they have the Hydra rollout. They have partnerships with multiple governments. They have all kinds of new stuff.
Well, here's another thing to add to the Cardano profile here. Cardano Payments Network Flexa adds support for ADA at over 40,000 locations. If you're not familiar with Flexa and AMP are essentially the same company. AMP was essentially a fork. If you don't know what AMP is, we actually did a deep dive on AMP. We dropped the
last Friday.
We dropped the link in our description below, so make sure you go check that out. But Flexa Network has merchants in over 40,000 locations in the US and Canada. Now, ADA is going to be able to be used as a form of payment in those 40,000 merchants. This is huge.
Yeah. It's another layer to Cardano's utility, especially in the payments system. So Cardano is partnered with Cody as well. There's about 5 or 6 different payment applications. This is another one for Cardano's portfolio. So now it is easier for you to transact with Cardano in the real world. It's not just something you can send to people. It's now something you can use to purchase and acquire goods in a real world scenario. the FlexiChain is something that's been around for quite some time, at least from the last cycle. They've built a lot of partnerships, and they are working with a lot of retailers. So really, really bullish news. I think that with Cody, I think it's really growing. Also,
so when Lambo?
When Lambo? What Lambo?
No, when Lambo. That's the saying. Like, when is it going to moon?
Oh.
When Lambo? When's Cardano? Is Cardano mooning?
Okay, once Sunday Swap gets going. So Sunday Swap, if you're not familiar, it's a DApp, it's a DEX built on Cardano that will basically, it's like a Uniswap version, different interface.
For the Cardano blockchain.
Yeah, I think that's the number one utility, that and NFTs. Which NFTs are being minted on Cardano as we speak. However, it's just not quite as Ethereum's the standard right now.
Dude, Ethereum's the king.
It is,
and everyone else are just peasants at this moment.
But hey, if Ethereum doesn't fix their issues, they just delayed the rollout of the proof of stake once again. So we're not going to see it till late summer next year, supposedly. And then I'm sure they'll delay it again.
Chances are it'll get delayed again, guys. So
yeah, if they keep delaying it, somebody else is going to step up and kick the door down. So
kick it down. All right, let's move on. You remember Radio Shack?
Yes, I remember Radio Shack.
Well, they back, man. They back from the dead. Former electronics store Radio Shack pivots fully into DeFi. A renowned American electronics store, Radio Shack, has confirmed that it is switching its business model to focus fully on decentralized finance. Ty Lopez, the executive chairman, had previously hinted at this December 11th, where he revealed that the firm could be looking to tap into the innovation of crypto. Goes on to pretty much say they're going to launch a DEX called Radio Shack Swap, along with a native token called Radio, which is going to have a total supply of 10 billion tokens. What are your thoughts, man? Can this bring Radio Shack back?
This is desperate, okay? I'm just going to
Why is it desperate?
It's as desperate. Okay,
Why is it desperate?
First of all, you said they're shifting their business model to the blockchain. What business model did they have? Their business model was they
brick and mortar,
and they filed bankruptcy twice in the last 6 years.
So what would you rather than do? Just throw the towel in?
No, but I'm just saying, if you're going to sit here and make a press release and say, hey, our new business model, your old business model was doo-doo, okay?
Yeah,
and
that's
anyways,
why
let me tell you a quick story here. Let me tell you a story. We're going to go back in time, okay? Okay. We're going to travel.
Keep it short, man.
We're going to travel back to 2017.
Okay, people are sleeping in the chat.
2017, during the ICO stage, there was right before we hit the top, right before we bottomed out, right before we hit the bear market, we were having endless ICOs. And guess who ICO'd? Guess who launched an ICO, David? Take a guess. Kodak.
Oh, sorry.
Kodak launched an ICO. Kodak launched their own blockchain. Kodak launched their own program. And that, sir, was a failing business trying to get into blockchain. They're grabbing at straws. And
so you're saying Radio Shack is going to have the same thing? They're just going to fail?
Yeah, they're going to fail.
Why?
They're going to fail because they're not they're not a computer science blockchain development
How
company.
do you know who they have hired? What if they hired a blockchain expert?
No. If you would have told me that some technology, like some computer science type of company was getting into it,
they sell technology.
Like if you told me like Nvidia, for example, was getting into blockchain, that would make sense.
Why are you hating on a company that's going decentralized, man?
Stay in your lane. Make freaking products. If you want,
that is the dumbest thing.
If you want to start capitalizing on the internet sales, start capitalizing on online retail. That's because you already purchase and acquire goods and then sell it to other producers. At least change your format. Do what Best Buy did. Best Buy not only has the pickup in store, they can mail it to your house. Blah blah blah. They obviously evolved.
So you're saying you're not going to use Radio Shack Swap?
Hell no.
You're not going to buy the radio token.
Why the hell would I use Radio Shack? Get out of here, bro. If you invest any kind of dinero in Radio Shack Swap, I'm gonna
stop hating on Radio Shack, man.
Get out of here.
They're trying to turn things around, bro. They're getting into crypto and blockchain. Stop hating on the guy.
This is their last grasp at straws here.
Hey, man. What if this revolutionizes their company?
Radio Shack, prove me wrong.
Hey, Radio Shack. When's the
last time you went to a Radio Shack, by the way?
Never. I'm just saying.
See,
but I'm just saying.
Now all of a sudden you're gonna start investing your money in. All of a sudden you're gonna be like, you know what? I got an extra $1,000.
Bro, I'm gonna
invest in Radio Shack Swap. Get out of here.
You can't shit on a company that's trying to keep up with the times, trying to revive themselves.
Yeah, they're trying to do something.
What's wrong with that?
That's
You're just a hater, bro.
I am a hater.
You're a hating ass.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's pull up the laptop again. All right. You know, we can't go a show without talking about the freaking government and the SEC, but obviously it's extremely important. We are a growing space, a growing sector in the market. So when important news comes out, we have to talk about it.
I'm a growing boy.
SEC, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. SEC, oh, you're lucky we're on air. SEC delays decisions on 2 more Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin ETF proposals Bitwise and Grayscale Live to see another day or just get a stay of execution. This essentially just talks about the new spot ETF applications that were sent in by Bitwise and Grayscale. Instead of just outright denying it, they're going to spend the next 45 days reviewing. So we'll see what happens in 45 days.
What about outright approving something that needs to be approved?
I want to read.
They know it's coming. Okay, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Even though they keep denying this crap, answer me this. In the next 2 years, will they approve a spot ETF?
Yes.
Then why the fuck are we delaying this shit?
Okay, so listen. I'm going to read an excerpt from this article. This is going to be a direct quote from a couple of Congress people. It says, yet many, including Congressman Tom Emmer from Minnesota and Darren Soto from Florida, say that Bitcoin futures, if anything, are riskier to investors because they add complexity while using the same underlying price data. Quote, we question why, if you are comfortable allowing trading in an ETF based on derivatives contracts, you are not equally or more comfortable allowing trading to commence in ETFs based on spot Bitcoin. Bitcoin spot ETFs are based directly on the asset, which inherently provides more protection for the investors. So these guys are saying, by the way, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, so this is bipartisan. Finally agree on something, right? They're saying, why is it more riskier on a spot ETF versus a futures ETF when the futures ETF has these complexities that are in there that people don't even understand?
The SEC.
People don't even know what derivatives are. At least when you invest in a spot ETF, you know you're literally investing and betting on the price of the actual asset, which is Bitcoin. Not a derivative, not some backwards, whatever the hell it is. So I agree with Congressman Tom Emmer and Darren Soto. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's just getting old. I don't understand why we can't just pass this thing now. Obviously, they're not passing it because they want to have some say in cryptocurrency.
You know what?
They want to be relevant. They want to be relevant. And the thing is like, why? Okay. So they're saying, well, it's a little too volatile now or whatever it is. They're not ready or whatever. Bitcoin is not going to change. Bitcoin will be the same now and it'll be the same in 2 years from now. So it's not
like... Are you talking about what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protocol.
Okay.
Bitcoin, top to bottom. Why would you pass it in 2 years from now? Why instead of passing it now?
Let me pose this question to you. Do you think that Gensler is saying that it's risky because it's volatile or it's risky because it might... So, listen, hold on. Every time the crypto market dips, you get people out there, oh, Bitcoin can literally disappear. Bitcoin could go to zero. The crypto market could get evaporated. That is not going to happen. So do you think that is the reason he's saying it's riskier or because of the volatility that he's saying it's riskier? What do you
I'll give you the breakdown here. First of all, yes. The volatility is the reasoning. Okay, they want to control. They want to have power. They want to muscle their thing around and be like, okay, yeah, Bitcoin. When you want to come in here, you'll come in here when we say you can come in here. And the thing is that it just makes no sense. I don't know, man. I'm just.
You gonna answer the question or not?
What was the question?
Is it?
I'm just so irritated.
Okay,
with
listen,
this, man.
Gary Gensler said it's too risky for a spot.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he's thinking it's too risky because of volatility or because it can go away?
Okay. So in case you don't know how it works, spot BTC ETF, for that, every dollar that is put into Bitcoin has to be matched by purchasing Bitcoin. So if you buy one Bitcoin in the ETF holders or the people that are responsible for it, Grayscale, for example, they would have to buy a BTC. Now, all of a sudden, if you can give the market exposure, all the traditional markets, all of the old Wall Street money, all of the corporations that can't invest in Bitcoin directly because of the market, the way the market is set up, the way the shareholders are set up, the way the board of meetings are set up, they can't just all of a sudden take a bunch of their cash on hand and go buy Bitcoin. It's not how it works. However, there are avenues for these companies to invest through Wall Street. And if you can get exposure to Bitcoin in a Wall Street fashion through an ETF, anyways, there's going to be millions and billions and maybe even trillions of dollars that are going to flood into Bitcoin immediately through ETF because there's companies that want to buy it. They just can't. Right now, they can't. And when they pass the ETF, the price is going to moonshot. That's simple mathematics.
Yeah, there's no way around that.
If the market cap is $1 trillion and you add $500 billion within 2 months, obviously the price is just increased by 50%. So your $50,000 Bitcoin would be $75,000, and that's solely 100% off of the purchases on Wall Street. Doesn't include anything else. So it is going to be a huge mover, and that is something to be concerned about. However, you can't look at price volatility and be like, we can't approve it because the price will shoot up. We need to protect investors. They don't protect investors from investing in penny stocks. If you want to go on Robinhood, you can invest in the cheapest stock, put $1 billion in it, and then you can lose your money that way.
What about Robinhood letting people who had no idea what the hell options trading were do options trading?
Yeah.
So
it's like
on one side they're saying they want to protect the investors, and then they go literally do the opposite. Is it just because you really want to protect investors, or because you hate crypto because it's literally challenging the very foundation of the financial system of this country? Or is it because you cannot control it? You can't put your hands all over it.
They say they're protecting the investors, but at the same time, so the United States says, we're going to protect you from losing your money in a stupid way. But it doesn't stop you from flying out here to Sin City and putting all your money on black. You know what I mean? There's no limit. There's no like, hey, maybe you shouldn't put a 15-team parlay in with $10,000. Maybe that's not a good idea. But no, they let you do that. Like, it's they pick and choose, and basically they're keeping it at bay for their own personal gain. So that way the banks got time to get in, and that way the big money can get it in certain way. It's all favoritism. It's stupid. It's just politics at its best here. So.
All right, well, that'll be it for our talking points. Let's move on to our next segment, the market analysis. Hit it. Boom. Beautiful. All right. Amazing. Let's take a look at the overall market here before I get into some numbers. Going to go over the fear and greed index here. It's at 25, which is signifying extreme fear in the markets.
People scared?
People scared, man. They scared. Just a quick overview here. We got Bitcoin sitting at 46,400. ETH is a little under 4,000. We had Cardano slip down to number 7 from number 6 with a market cap of 42 billion. Sitting
right at Cardano. Who was it?
USDC, baby. USDC coin.
Yeah, people are scared. They stable coining.
We have Avalanche back in the top 10, and then Terra Luna moved up from 10 to 9. Let's go ahead and look at the biggest gainers and losers in the top 100. Hold on. Did you see that?
No.
Son of sheep. I thought it said son of bitch. My bad.
Son of sheep?
Son of shit. So, biggest mover the last 24 hours is Yearn Finance. If you're not familiar with Yearn Finance, they're a liquidity they're a yield farming. So you're essentially liquidity, staking, make money. Terra Luna's up 10% over the last 24 hours. IOTX. Monero up 5%. We go on the right side here. We see the biggest losers. Decred dropped 20% after a huge pump it just had. Near Protocol down 10%. Kadena. We did do a deep dive on Kadena. If you're not familiar, it's an awesome project. Down right now, but go check it out. We'll drop a link in our description after the show. Make sure you go check that out.
It's like Bitcoin 2.0.
Like Bitcoin, yes.
With some inflation.
Check it out. Very, very exciting stuff. Let's go back to, I'm going to pull up actually my trading view here. I'm going to do a little technical analysis on 3 coins today. We're going to do Bitcoin, Cardano, and Avalanche. So I got TradingView pulled up here. Since this is kind of our first show, we're doing more technical analysis. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the indicators we're using. Now, please keep in mind, no indicator is 100%. Nothing is ever 100% accurate. It's not sometimes even 60% accurate. So even though we're going to tell you, hey, we use this, this, and this, these are good signals to enter, these are good signals to exit, never take that as financial advice. Never say, oh, they said this is happening, so I'm going to hop in. Do your own research.
I'm doing whatever you say, David.
Don't do it. Understand that technical analysis is not 100% accurate, so proceed with caution. It is a tool. Exactly. So here, I just have the price in candlesticks. I got it on a daily chart here, which is what I like to use. In the middle here, you can see our, beautiful. You can see our RSI, which stands for Relative Strength Index. It shows you whether a market is overbought or oversold. Anything over 70 is considered overbought, which typically signals a good time to sell. Anything under 30, you're looking at oversold, which typically signals a good time to get in. On the bottom, we have our ADX, which stands for Average Directional Index. You have 3 lines here. You have the green line, which represents uptrend. You have the red line, which represents the downtrend. And then you have the solid purple line, which signals the strength of the trend. When red is above green, we are in a downtrend. When green is above red, we are in an uptrend.
Did you say red and green? It's Christmas, baby.
That's right, baby. And what you want to do...
You know what RSI stands for?
Relative Strength Index.
No, Robin Sexy Index. There it is. You already knew that was coming, my dude.
Listen, bro, we're doing a market analysis here. We're not doing a Robin analysis. So what I was saying before this idiot interrupted me is when you look at this purple line, the average directional line here, anything over 25 signifies a strong trend. So when we look here, we see the red is above the green and the ADX is over 45. This signifies a strong downtrend currently. So we're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now. I'm going to pull up another thing we like to use called the Bollinger Bands. This essentially measures volatility and overbought, oversold. Anytime the bands are farther apart the bands are, typically means the more volatile it is.
So it looks like when the Bollinger Band is below what it's trading is a good time to enter, and then vice versa. Is that?
I'm actually going to go over that right now. I just want to show you what a squeeze is. So here we look at, this is called a Bollinger Band squeeze. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bollinger Bands, you have 3 lines here. The middle orange line is a 20-day moving average. It takes the closing price of the last 20 days and it plots it as an average. The blue lines are 2 standard deviations, one to the upside, one to the downside. Now, we have what's called a Bollinger Band squeeze, which when the bands, the top band and the lower band squeeze, it signals that the asset is in accumulation phase and that it's potentially going to be making a move to the upside or the downside. You see here, we had a little bit of accumulation, we had a band squeeze, and then bam, we went to the upside. A little bit of a squeeze here, bam, we went to the upside. Now, typically, good trading strategies, when the price and the candles are trading towards the bottom portion of the Bollinger Band, and it crosses the moving average, typically a good time to get in, and when it hits the upper band, it's typically a good time to get out, unless you have a breakout, but then you look at your other indicators. Now,
you know, I haven't had a breakout since I was like 16. You know, your boy's skin looking fresh nowadays, though.
Yeah. You're such an idiot. So kind of taking that away, looking at this now, if I were an investor, I would not even, unless you're okay with accumulating and holding Bitcoin for the next 5 years. This is not financial advice. This is something I would kind of weigh. You see we're in an accumulation phase. We're right at our support of 46,000. The next big area of support is going to be 42. So if we break under 46, and if we don't settle at 42, guys, I got some bad news because the very next support, we're looking at 29,000, guys. So,
but it does look like for myself personally, you had lower highs going in, and then it looks like over the last 3 weeks or so, we're more or less trading sideways. It looks like a descending wedge, which a lot of times breaks to the upside over 70% of the time. So for me, I do see a good chance of us coming out of this favorably. December is traditionally a bullish month for cryptocurrency, especially in the bull markets.
I think December's going to end in the red.
But no, I think we're going to have a late push.
Now,
in my opinion.
Here's a stat I pulled off a Glassnode. Bitcoin balances on exchanges have been decreasing since Halloween, with more than 65,000 Bitcoin moving off exchanges, which is over $3 billion worth in Bitcoin if you take it from today's price. So you got more coins taken off the exchanges, but you got price consolidating.
I got a whale alert today. There was actually a record-breaking movement. So there was $500 million moved into an exchange from one wallet. But the cool thing about this article, so $500 million moved from one wallet to an exchange. So basically, somebody sent $500 million. The transaction fee was $1. Think about that.
That's insane.
Think about any bank that you would ever go to and you wanted to move $500 million. How much money do you think that would cost in fees?
Yeah, a lot.
So yeah, it just shows you the power of cryptocurrency, and it doesn't discriminate against how much money you're moving. So
if we look at what I just said about Bitcoin moving off exchanges, and we look at the accumulation here, once we see a switch on the ADX on the bottom here, once I see green starting to cross, and if this is over 25, that might be a good time to buy. Again, not financial advice, just from the metrics that I'm looking at. Let's move on to Cardano, ADA. Man, ADA has been in an ugly downtrend since it hit its all-time high in September. It kind of traded sideways here. Then we've been in a downtrend ever since November 10th. Same thing here, guys. If we expand it here, we can get a better view of the candles. Now, if you're not familiar with a candle has
Christmas season.
Season.
Yankee candles, Bed Bath & Beyond, they got lots of candles. So
just to explain, why you always throwing me off, man. Just to kind of explain what a candle is, okay? So let's take this candle, for example. Here, you have the body, which is the middle. On the top, the thin lines, you have the wicks. The bottom wick is the lowest here. The top wick is the all-time, or is the high you reach for the day. You have on a red candle, the top part is where it opened, bottom is where it closed. On a green candle, it's the opposite. Bottom is where it opened, top part is where it's closed. The important thing when you're looking at candles, when I look at candles, I see each candle as emotions of the trader. How do the traders feel? If you look at the candle here, if we take a look at this candle here, we see that the price opened here. It dropped all the way down, then it came all the way back up. So what that tells me is there was a shit ton of selling pressure. There was no wick to the upside. So buying pressure wasn't enough to push it past its opening price, but it also didn't tank all the way down to the bottom of the wick. So to me, that signaled it's pretty bearish, and you can see moving forward the next 10 candles or so, we've kind of been trading sideways, if not trading down. As far as some news on Cardano, we had the Flexa payment news coming up. Now, typically when you see news coming out, you don't expect to see an immediate movement in price, whether it be to the upside or downside, unless it's FUD, then typically.
Well, also, the smaller the project, the larger the pumps from news and partnerships.
True.
The same thing on the polar opposite. So the larger the project, the harder it is to move the price with just an article, for example. So something to keep in mind.
Now,
don't expect much out of one article for Cardano, is what I'm saying.
True. Now, there's one candle here I want to highlight. Now, there's different candle patterns. There's reversal patterns. There's continuation patterns. There's 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. We're not going to get into all that today. But I want to point this one out right here. That is called a gravestone doji. Now, gravestone doji is typically a bearish pattern that suggests a reversal followed by a downtrend in price action. So,
does this have anything to do with Dogecoin?
No.
Okay.
Doji. If we pop the Bollinger Bands on top of here, you can see that it's been pretty volatile as far as price. It is trading towards a lower band here. It is inching towards the moving average. So if you were trying to take an entry position and get into the market, might be if it were me, I would probably wait. So let's move on to my favorite. What's my favorite coin, Robin?
What is it?
You suck. It's Avalanche. Jesus Christ. So
doing a deep dive on Avalanche today.
Yes. So that video will be up after 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you check that out. But looking at Avalanche here, we did hit an all-time high here of $146, and we've been making lower lows and lower highs ever since. This might be the beginning of a downtrend for Avalanche. You got the RSI kind of right in the middle, not overbought, not oversold. And if we expand the ADX here, you can see that red is about to cross the green. So we might be going in for a downtrend, even though the purple ADX line is suggesting that we're not in a strong trend either way.
I still believe in the project. I think even now, I think it has a lot more to grow, even though some of the indicators are saying that it might be a little overbought, but it could do what Solana did. There was a lot of indicators throughout Solana's growth that was saying that might not be the best time to enter, but yet it just kept pumping and pumping. It went from $20 to $50 to $100 to $120 to $200. So I think Avalanche may break some of the indicators that you would find. I think this project has a lot of momentum. So for me, I think if you dollar cost averaged in now, if you believe in the project, if something you're looking to get into, I don't think it's actually that bad a time to get in. I do realize you're going to probably get some better entry points. So if you dollar cost average, I think you'll be doing pretty good. So
if it was me, if I was waiting for an entry point, what I would do is I would wait to see what this red line decides to do. If it decides to cross over the green, I would wait. Or if it doesn't and it diverges, then it might be a good time to get in. But again, extremely strong support at $80. We saw last time it hit 80. Every time it's gotten to 80, it's bounced right back up. So I did buy a little bit of Avalanche when it dropped down to 80. Still holding my bag. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all we got for market analysis today. So with that being said, that'll wrap up our show. For today, we are extremely excited, guys. Our media partner, Global, just did a press release. We will drop the link in the description as well, so you guys can go check it out. Well, like what Robin said, we're a growing channel. Grow with us. This is what we love to do. This is our passion. It's to teach, entertain, and learn crypto. Join us on the ride. Robin, you got anything to say before we sign off?
No, man. This is our first day of being grown up. First day of
we got kicked out of the house.
Yeah, of being the real channel. So no more playing around. Anyways, grow with us. Subscribe if you didn't already. We're really excited here. We got nothing but clear skies and runway in front of us. So yeah, join us.
Join us, guys. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Peace.
Peace.
Man, that was an exciting first show, bro. Official launch. Here we come. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We end the stream?